got a text message. Hey, we're here. Come out. I run my fingers through my hair. I look in the mirror, make sure my shirt's tucked in because you never want to wear a bodysuit and forget to snap this bodysuit. Not that I've ever done that and had a tail hanging out and had my kids tell me, no, that's never happened. So I do one final check, go out to the car, and there's the truck, not a car. And I get in the back of the truck and we start moving out, and instantly my nerves calm. I forget that I'm even nervous. And I'm just listening to the most entertaining conversation, because if you don't know Ryan and Tracy Munson and Ryan Lenhart, they're some of the greatest conversationalists. They can go forever. And they're so entertaining, and just listen to the intonations change, and then the sentences, and then every sentence would break, and there'd be chuckling and laughing, and I just completely was engulfed in this conversation that I didn't participate in, I just listened. And then we got to about Brigham, when I realized, I should probably think about this a little bit. And I thought, no, I'm just going to keep listening. And then we got to about Bountiful. And Tracy turns around and she looks at me and she says, hey, Lex. And yeah, and she says, what are you going to tell? What are you going to share? What story are you going to share? I looked at her and I smiled, because all week long I was trying to figure out what story I was going to share, and I couldn't figure out what story it was going to be. And the only story that kept coming was this really, really special moment that I loved and was so cute and fun and had all these fun elements. And I thought, gosh, how do you like encompass a story in 2 to 3 minutes that shares all those cute little details? And so I couldn't do it, and so my mind would go blank. And she's like, and Ryan turns around and says, yeah, why don't you just tell it to us right now? And I was like, okay. I start telling them, and as every sentence falls out of my mouth, it falls flat and it crashes, and I wasn't even selling myself, and I was just thinking, this is not gonna work. This is gonna fall so flat. And Ryan and Tracy are some of the best salesmen you'll ever meet. They can sell snow to an Eskimo. And so I watched their faces as their smiles kind of went plastered fake. And I was like, oh, I'm not really doing a good job. This story is not good. And at the end of the story, I was like, and Tracy just looks at me, oh, yeah, that's good. And I was like, oh, that's so bad. It's so bad. If you know Tracy, she's the biggest cheerleader, and so is Ryan. And if they can't cheer for you really intensely, then you know it's bad. And I was like, okay. So I said, guys, I know this isn't the right story. I got to think of a different story. So I start thinking, and I was like, I actually have this other story, but it's really boring. And they were like, well, what is it? And I just started to tell them. And it literally was me walking into a sandwich shop, feeling flustered, being stuck in my own thoughts, getting to the counter, not being able to order, and noticing people, and then going back and sitting down because I decided not to order, and I just sat there and stared. They were like, that's the story. Right there, that's it. So in the parking lot, I wrap up the final sentences, and I think, okay, I could do this. We go in, we check in, we go through security, we get all the stuff, we start taking the videos and the content, take the pictures, watch Brian style his hair because it looks so good, and we get ready and we're going backstage, and then all of a sudden they're miking us up, and if you don't know me, I hate wearing a mic. I hate it so bad, and I kind of blame a musical that we did a couple years ago called Seussical the Musical. In this musical, I was wearing a mic pack. This is the musical that went all wrong. But it was so great, too. Anyways, we were a little bit trauma bonded, but it's okay, it's fine. Best friends for life. And so I'm wearing this mic pack and Seuss, and all of a sudden I'm in a dress, a short dress. My mic pack slips down and it's dangling between my legs, and I'm trying to hobble on the stage and not be obvious that my mic pack's falling off. So I really hate wearing a mic, and they're like, it's fine. So they mic me up, tape it up. Ryan's pretending to sleep on the couch. Tracy's over there talking it up like she does so well. And all of a sudden they're like, okay, you have these cues. You're going to go sit on the couches, and Nisha from Good Things Utah is going to ask you some questions, and then she's going to give you the cue. And Lex, when you get the cue, you're going to go over to this microphone. And on this microphone, you're going to start telling your story. And I thought, okay, I literally just barely came up with this story, but okay. And then they were like, it's totally fine. It's going to be so smooth. It's going to be like a piece of cake. So we go sit down. If you don't know me by now, you know it's not going to be a piece of cake, okay? I find ways to make it as complicated as it can be. We sit down, and it's all going smooth. And she's asking Ryan and Tracy questions, and I'm just sitting there waiting for my cue. There was just one task, and I had to listen for the cue. And I sat there and I listened for the cue, and it still didn't come because I was like, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. And then all of a sudden, a camera girl comes off stage. The one who taped my mic, mind you, comes next to me and hands me a microphone. And I was like, what the? I thought you put a microphone on me. I need this too. So then I was like, crap, I missed my cue. But I didn't hear it, so what do? I leaped off the stage. And I was wearing sandals that slide sandals, so it thumped really loud, and I was like, oh no. And I see the cameraman backstage flustered, like, crap, what's she doing? And I was like, I missed my cue, so I hurry and go behind the cameras, because I'm like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go, and I have my microphone, 2 microphones, and the girl who taped me up is like, no, you're not supposed to get off stage. And I was like, you gave me a microphone. She's like, well, now just stand here behind the camera. So I'm just looking at Tracy and Ryan talking while I'm back here with the microphone. And then they're like, hey, I hear my cue, and I'm not there. So I was like, well, and they're like, okay, now walk over there and put your microphone on the stand. So I walk over there. I tell the story to a camera with a little bit of a live audience, and everything went fine from there. Except for when I get off, Ryan and Tracy were like, what the heck happened to you? Why did you jump off stage? And I was like, you guys have no idea. I thought I missed my cue. They gave me the microphone. I jumped off. Apparently I didn't miss my cue. My mic on my back wasn't working. They didn't tell me that. They just said here. And so, anyways, the moral of the story is, it doesn't matter what kind of story you tell. It doesn't matter how big or grand or elaborate the story is. All that matters is the way you deliver it. Because when it gets on camera to a live audience, all they want to hear is the story. They want to hear you. And they don't know all the little details that it took to get to that story.